Professor Twilight, and I am going to do lavender for my first herb. And let's see, lavender is native to France. It is related to spike lavender, which yields more oil, but the oil is inferior to the regular lavender, or English lavender, I suppose. The key constituents of lavender are volatile oils up to 3%, containing over 40 constituents, including linolyl acetate, which is 30 to 60%. Cineol, which is 10%, linalool, nerol, and borneol, and of course flavonoids. The key actions of lavender is that it is an antispasmodic, it relieves anxiety, it's an antidepressant, a neuroprotective, and antimicrobial. Something else you didn't know about lavender is that it is excellent to repel mosquitoes. You can also use it for bug bites, insomnia, and migraines. And of course, digestive problems. Yay! Some research that has been done for lavender in 2014 was that lavender oil, when you take it internally, is more effective than both a placebo and conventional tranquilizers in relieving generalized anxiety. So, rather than popping a pill, unless, of course it's prescribed by a doctor, why don't you just take yourself a little bit of lavender oil and, chill out. Plus, you'll probably pass the drug test too. Anyway, it also showed antidepressant activities. So when you feel sad or depressed or whatever, like I said, rather than popping a pill, unless it's doctor prescribed, why don't you take a little bit of lavender oil? And that should hopefully brighten your mood. Let's see. The oil, unlike, most essential oils, is thought to have low toxicity, meaning that it's good for antibacterial and antifungal activities. So say you have an infection and you don't want to go buy antibiotics or you can't afford them. Supposedly lavender oil is good for that. Let's see. The flowers have similar properties to the oil, so you can make lavender tea out of it. There's not much research conducted on that one. If you apply it externally, flower extracts are insecticidal and rubefacient, means that it helps with your circulation and it repels insects. So all of you people that get bit by mosquitoes, why don't you try some lavender oil? Well, lavender flowers on your arms. Just grab extracts from the flowers. Some traditional and current uses are lavender is well known for soothing and calming, of course, which is why they put it into, baby lotions and stuff to help get your kids to sleep at night. And, of course, you as well. It aids in digestion. It soothes indigestion and colic. So for all of you new moms who have colicky babies, give them a little bit of lavender. It relieves gas and bloating. So for all of us adults who love, Mexican food, but it doesn't love us back, lavender helps with that. It also helps with asthma. Like when you have excessive nervousness and you have an asthma attack, breathe in a little bit of lavender essence and there you go. All better. Of course, lavender isn't a replacement for your prescribed drugs, but it does help. The essential oil is invaluable as a first aid remedy. It's good for helping to heal burns, wounds, and sores. It also relieves pain and inflammation for bug stings, and it's also good for scabies and lice. So for all of you people out there who are frustrated because your kids come home with head lice, rub some lavender into their hair and that should get rid of it. The essential oil, of course. Massaging a few drops on the temple can ease your headaches. So, like me, if you're a migraine sufferer, make yourself an oil from the essential oil and whatever carrier oil you prefer to use. Rub you a few drops on your temples, and headache should go away. Let's see. If you add 5 drops to your bath at night, it relieves muscle tension. tones the nervous system and encourages sleep. So all you insomniacs out there, instead of taking drugs to go to sleep, just take a lavender bath. Okay, so our second herb is going to be vervain. So let's see, let's get over there, shall we? I'm going to take a quick pause for any questions. That way I can answer them in an orderly fashion. Okay, and I'm back with vervain, which is our second herb tonight. Vervain is wildly grown throughout much of Europe and North Africa, as well as China and Japan. But it is cultivated all over the world. There are two types of species. One is regular vervain, and of course there's blue vervain, which is native to North America and is used basically the same as regular vervain. The key constituents are bitter iridoids, which are verbenin and verbenilin, volatile oil alkaloids, triterpenes, beta-cytosterols, and flavonoids, which I will, of course, if you ask, I will give you the definitions for these words, because I wouldn't want my dear viewers to have no clue what I'm talking about. The key actions for vervain is it is nervine, it's a tonic, it's mildly bitter, and mildly antidepressant. Again, so if you feel like you need a pick-me-up, have some vervain tea maybe. You can make tinctures, infusions, and powders out of it. The parts that are used are the aerial parts, which are the leaves and stems that are dried, or you could use fresh. Let's see. There's a caution for this one. It says, do not exceed the stated dose. Vervain can cause vomiting if taken in excess. Do not take during pregnancy. So sorry, pregnant women. If you have a headache or you need a little mild antidepressant, vervain is not the herb for you. Research has been done with vervain on hormonal effects. It is estrogenic and proestrogenic, meaning that it stimulates the muscles of the womb and produces in the production of breast milk. So after you have your baby, if you're having a hard time lactating, have yourself a little vervain. For an herb with such a long traditional use, there's surprisingly little research done on it. So there's not much that we can go on. However, laboratory tests have indicated that vervain has significant anti-inflammatory actions. It may also have antiviral and liver protective properties. Verbenilin, an active compound of vervain, a strongly bitter herb constituent, may cause vomiting in high doses and stimulates contractions of the womb. So if you're having a hard time going into labor and you want to hurry it along, take a little vervain, a high dose of vervain, and insta labor. Some traditional uses, and of course current uses for vervain, is that they use it as a digestive tonic, and it helps to absorb food better. They use it on the nervous system. It is prized as a restorative for the nervous system and especially helpful for nervous tension. So if you're not pregnant and need to calm down a little bit, have a little bit of vervain. You'll be fine. Of course, you should always follow the directions of a professional herbalist. That way you don't accidentally kill yourself, right? Let's see. It also helps with convalescence. It aids digestion and restores the nervous system. Vervain, is an ideal tonic for people recovering from chronic illness. Like me, I have chronic bronchitis. Vervain would help with that, which is pretty awesome. Headaches and migraines. Vervain alleviates headaches, and in Chinese herbal medicine, it is used for migraines connected with the period. So ladies, for all of you that get those period headaches, take some vervain and that will help. Some other uses. Vervain is given for jaundice, which is the yellowing of the skin and eyes, gallstones, which, take it from me, they are horrible, asthma, insomnia, premenstrual syndrome, flu, and fevers. So there's that. Alright, and I will be right back with our rosemary. Alright, and I'm back with our third and final herb, which is rosemary. Rosemary is native to the Mediterranean. It grows freely in much of southern Europe and, of course, is cultured throughout the world, including in America, where you can find it in your friendly neighborhood supermarket, as well as plant nurseries, if, you can't find it at Walmart. The key constituents of rosemary are volatile oils, 1 to 2%, containing borneol, camphene, camphor, and cineol. Caution: do not take the essential oil internally except under professional practitioners' supervision. If they have caution notes, it's for a good reason, boys and girls. Alright, some of the key actions of rosemary is that it's a tonic, a stimulant, an astringent, a nervine, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant. Rosemary also repels mosquitoes because of its pungent odor that they cannot stand. Some research for rosemary is that a 2011 study published in Phytotherapy Research, you can look that up, found that rosemary exerted anti-inflammatory and protective effects on the inner lining of blood vessels in young adults. So for those of you who suffer from anemia, rosemary might give you a little boost. You can, of course, use the leaves, which is generally what we use to cook with. And if you do cook with them, try to chop and not chop, if you know what I mean. Because otherwise all the oil will go out of the rosemary and you'll just have a bunch of leaves inside of your food, which, I don't know about you, but who wants to eat grass? Such research supports the understanding that many active compounds in rosemary support healthy circulation, which is good for those of us who have circulatory problems. A 2006 clinical trial in Germany concluded, in line with traditional usage, that rosemary raised blood pressure in people suffering from low blood pressure. So if you're kind of wary about going to the doctor and you don't want to quite go just yet, eat some rosemary and it should help you with that low blood pressure. All of those taking rosemary also reported feeling better at the end of the trial, so it worked. Let's see. Also, in 2003, Japan did laboratory research and found that diterpenes within rosemary, carmosic acid, and carnosol strongly stimulated nerve growth factor, suggesting that rosemary may stimulate nerve repair, which is good for those of us who suffer from nerve damage. Yay! In 2015, a review in Cancer Letters stated that these constituents also had promising results of anti-cancer activity, which is good because you never know. One day we might have a herbal cure for cancer that we can use and that won't kill us, like chemotherapy, for example. Some traditional and current uses for rosemary is a circulatory stimulant. Like I said, they make a warming tonic remedy that stimulates blood flow throughout the body, especially in those with low blood pressure, raising that blood pressure to a healthy level. It is also thought to promote blood flow to the head, thus improving memory and concentration. It can also be taken to relieve migraines and headaches, and it encourages hair growth and health. So for those of you ladies and even you guys that want a little more hair up top, use rosemary. You can make it into a conditioner, which is a cream base, and there you go. It helps with poor circulation. Thought to raise low blood pressure, the herb is valuable for fainting and weakness associated with deficient circulation. So there you go. If you have vertigo or whatever and you suffer from low blood pressure, anemia, or what have you, rosemary helps with that. Rosemary is also a restorative. It aids recovery in long-term stress and illnesses, which is good. It is thought to stimulate the adrenal glands and is used specifically for debility, especially when accompanied with poor circulation and digestion. So if you need a little pick-me-up, rosemary is the herb for you. Rosemary is often prescribed for people who are stressed and failing to thrive. It's a raise your spirits kind of herb, and plus it tastes good. Applied as a lotion or diluted essential oil, rosemary eases aching rheumatic muscles. So those of you with rheumatoid arthritis, make you a little rosemary lotion and rub that baby in, or soak it, as the case may be, as an infusion or essential oil to bath water, and it'll help revive that sore, tired body of yours. Well, let's see. You can make a tincture, a tonic, oh, sorry, no tonic, a tincture, an infusion, or you can use the essential oil, which requires an oil burner. To make a tincture, you, of course, use the herb and you steep it in alcohol, and then you drain the herb into a wine press or jelly bag, and you squeeze all of the liquid out until there's nothing left but liquid. And then you pour it into a dark glass bottle or even a light glass bottle if you want and store it away. Tinctures are good for years, as opposed to lotions, which are good for hours or days, as well as infusions, which is only good for hours. Of course, essential oils are good all the time. So that's my little 3-herb class study tonight. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Professor Twilight out.